Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Good afternoon, curling fans. Welcome to Draw 3 of the Prestige Curling Classic at Vernon, BC. I'm your host, Will Sutton, here with Melissa Saligo, our analyst for the day, and we are catching Draw 3. All men's draws, though, here, and men in their first game of the Classic here. And our feature game here this afternoon is the Geall Robillard team. Welcome, Melissa.
Thanks, Will. It's good to be here and good to watch some curling with you today.
Yeah, I'm excited. I believe the teams are underway in the first end here. We did have the pregame practices where the teams were drawing for hammer.
And just having a look there, it looks like maybe does it Sean that might have the last rock? I can't quite count the rocks there.
First look there at Mitchell Kapitko, the second for Team Geall.
This is a new look, obviously, at Team Robillard. They've got a couple lineup changes this year. Nathan Small staying at the lead position, but they picked up Richard Krell from Alberta and Dan Wenzik playing third.
Yeah, Dan played last year with the Jones team, so a little bit of a shuffling happens in every offseason, and this is a newly formed team, exactly. The Robillard team has traveled a little bit this year, so they were off in Alberta for some events on the Alberta Curling Tour, or one event a few weeks ago, but this is their second event of the season. While for Sean and his team, this is their first event of the 2022-2023 Cashbill season. A little bit on the high side there for Kapitko, and chance here for Skips Rocks to sit two behind the corner guard.
Looks like by that broom placement, Will, that the ice is curling really nice at the Vernon Curling Club.
It does, Melissa. So Dave Merklinger is the head ice technician here in Vernon, and hosting all the teams to what looks like curling conditions.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw Dave on the ice on the next sheet. I think he's there in the yellow jacket there.
Oh, you're right. It looks like he's a jack of all trades this week.
Yeah. It's a nice shot there by Sebastian. Big shot here for Team Geall, trying to get out of this mess. Sebastian Robillard with 2 rocks behind there, and it looks like he just hits the guard.
You're right, Melissa. Based on that broom placement, the ice is seeing a nice amount of curl. This one should cross the center line completely. I think they're trying to cover the 2 yellows.
I think so. Really force Sean Geall to have to make a very difficult shot to score here. There's not a lot of room or access to that 4-foot right now if they put a perfect guard on here.
If that rock is biting, I guess there's a little bit of risk here if the guard isn't made that you could leave a double for 2.
This one's got some curling to do. Oh, it's not light either. That guard coming right into the rings, Will, it looks like, I don't know, is there a triple possibility here?
It does look, if you hit it on that center line side, that definitely make a double, and may touch that 3rd one on the back going by.
Looks like Brad Wood is throwing last stones here. I think I saw Brad make his way down there. Yep. Do you agree?
I do agree, and I'm trying to confirm if that is Sean Geall holding the broom.
Yeah, I'm trying to confirm that as well. I'm not sure it is. Trying for the triple.
Very nice.
Oh, what a shot. That was a little bit of a mistake there by Sebastian Robillard coming into the rings on that guard, Will, and he is paying for it.
Absolutely. Maybe was an option there to hit that one that was in the rings, but they saw that opportunity, and you're right. That was a little bit of a pay for it and a skip's deuce, I think they say, Melissa.
I think so too. I don't think that is Sean Geall. Do you?
No, it could be. I don't think it is either, and it looks like he's calling the game and throwing lead rocks, whoever the spare is, and they do have 3 of their 4 players in the lineup with Giroux, Kopitka, and Wood playing. But you're right; it looks like there is a spare there playing for Sean Geall this week.
just got our shipment of logos here in for our next event, which is going to be the mixed double. As you can see, there's a few of them. There's roughly 20 logos per sheet to be put in for the mixed doubles, along with a couple extra little dots. But all our logos come from Jet Ice. They are the best logos to put in. We use them around the world, and they're very easy to install. As you can tell, this is the center ice logo that's going to be going in for the world. This is about a 4-footer by 10. It's going to look like $1 million. Their colors on their logos are always nice and vibrant. And like I said before, very easy to put in.
Welcome back to the second end here of the Prestige Curling Classic. Sean Geall did get the deuce there in the first end, a little bit unexpectedly, Melissa. So it'll be Team Robillard with blast rock advantage here in the second end.
Yeah, those are one of those surprises, Will, where you've got the whole end set up for a potential steal, and you want to throw that guard anywhere out front to make that shot as difficult as possible on Team Geall. And unfortunately for Sebastian, came into the rings, and Brad Wood made no mistake and made his triple to get his deuce.
And it looks like the ice is quick out there, because another one slipping into the rings there when intended to be a guard for Team Robillard. So not much decision here for Team Geall, just to play the hit.
Nice to see Mitchell Kopitko out there. He's just newly out of junior, so has joined Team Geall for this season.
Looking at the Bonspiel schedule, Melissa, the Team Geall looks like they're playing a number of events throughout BC. So Mitchell and Darren and the rest of the team will get a good experience this year in playing on the BC Curling Tour.
So you saw Sebastian there, Will. He was thinking about maybe freezing to those 2 blue stones in the back 8. But he's elected to throw the corner guard, but they haven't laid a broom to this one either. And it looks like it may as well slip into the rings, which is very unfortunate for Team Robillard. Another hit and stick here for Team Geall. Try and put a lot of pressure on the Robillard team. No mistake there by Darren Giroux.
Very nice hit and roll.
I think at some point in this end, Sebastian's just going to have to say that this isn't working and maybe try and get a blank out of this end somehow and retain hammer for the next end. It's not looking good for his deuce at this moment.
The free agent, Richard Krell here. One of the new members of Team Robillard, so just playing in the second event with Sebastian and Nathan and Daniel.
Important piece here is to keep that shooter in play. There's a nice shot. Are they playing the freeze now, Will? Is that what the call was?
It looks like the call is to play the freeze, so chance here still to maybe create an opportunity for two without taking a whole lot of risk, eh, Melissa?
Yes, I would agree. So ideally here, trying to put it right on the face of that blue stone, or even on the little bit on the inside, so that if they tried to remove it, the yellow stone will stay in the rings. This looks pretty darn good. Don't want to move that blue one too far. That's a great shot. Team Geall now just trying to decide if there is a way to blast it out of there. There might be enough space, Will, if they hit that yellow one just on the high side, if it goes over top of the second blue stone that's on the left-hand side.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't know.
It looks like the weight here might just be to try to get to the nose and maybe make it challenging to remove this this rock Mitchell's thrown, but it looks like there's a bit of an overcurl here.
Yeah, not what Mitchell was looking for, that's for sure.
The good news is that that yellow rock can now leave a little bit easier by releasing that back blue one, but was hoping to nose that one, I think, and stick right in front of the yellow.
Yeah, so all of a sudden now, Team Robillard actually is trying to set themselves up for a potential deuce this end. They're going to try and put this rock just off center in the top 8 foot. They don't want to bring it too close to the tee line, or definitely not behind. So this is a weight shot, but you can see the brushers have not laid a broom to it. Well, this one has a long way to go. I think this one's going to be deep as well. That's a mistake there by Dan Wenzik. I think they're still sitting to Will for a minute.
Yeah, did get a little fortunate there. It looks like it'll be tough to remove the shooter, even though the weight there was a bit heavy. Looks like it might ended up in an okay spot. That it might be tough to remove both these rocks right now. When Team Robillard was discussing Daniel's shot there, I wondered if there was ever an option maybe to go to the wing and not to group the rocks in such a way as even this might have done if the rock Daniel had thrown had been in the top 8 foot. It may have still left a double takeout. So, but in any case, it was a bit heavy, and looks like. Looks like they'll be playing to remove both rocks from play.
Yeah, looks like they're going to try that thin double. From our angle right now, it does look like it'll jam, but it's hard to see from not seeing the overhead how much space there is. I think the key here for Team Geall obviously is to definitely get rid of one stone. Got some curling to do. So I don't think what he was looking for, Will. I think they were trying to hit the top stone first, or even hit it thinner and push that top stone over. But right now I think that blue is shot rock, and it looks like Sebastian is elected to freeze to that stone just thrown by Team Geall.
I believe you're right, and they've just seen this draw with Daniel, so should see this one be very close. try to catch a hog-to-hog time here for so we can see how fast the ice is that that both teams are dealing with this afternoon.
This looks close, I think. Did you get a hog-to-hog?
I got a 14-11 on that.
Nice shot.
Looks like it was about back 12 weight. So if my start-stop was accurate there, ice is running about 14.75 to the tee line, I would guess, Melissa, for that draw to the button, which is nice and quick.
I think so. I think that's about right. Yeah, nice curl too. It's nice to see the ice this good so early in the season.
Without seeing the overhead cameras, there is the challenge with playing a hit that neither of those rocks are very easy to remove from play. Are you thinking, Melissa, or what's the reason they wouldn't maybe just try to remove one of those rocks right now?
I'm not sure either would go with the freeze that was just thrown by Sebastian. Obviously, he'd have to pick it, like hit it really thin to even try and scoot one out to the side of the house there. The other one, however, well, this one he's looking at now, he could potentially, well, I don't even know if you could get that one out, Will, at all. And if you freeze to it, Sebastian has that option of picking it out as well, and it'd have to be an absolute perfect freeze. So what they're trying to figure out now is what's the best way not to give 3 here to Team Robillard. I think you almost have to play the freeze to take away a potential 3.
They were talking about leaving it a little bit higher than actually freezing, and I think that just makes the double tougher should your line not be perfect on this freeze shot that they're potentially going to call. It's one of those ones where you could be a half-inch off and leave quite an easy double just due to the precision of the line on this one.
So based on the call here, I am guessing that blue is second shot, because it looks like they're actually drawn to the side 4-foot. Is that right? Right there.
It looks like that is the case, Melissa. So they're hoping to force Sebastian into a tough shot for 2 by sitting second and third shot, it looks like.
But if you're sitting second and third shot, don't you have a free draw for 2?
I think they're, to your point earlier, I think they're trying to avoid the 3-ender here more than anything.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has to be absolutely perfect. It has to be, as you say, second or third shot. So this makes a little bit more of a precision shot on his last one here, and it looks like it's over curling. Oh boy. That might even be, well, it's hard to say from this angle, as we say, but I think it's closer than it. From our perspective, it looks like it's 4th shot, but I think they're actually going to make a play on it. So it must be second or third, Will.
Exactly. So the other option here, Melissa, what would it be that with a little bit, other than playing this double here that might have 3 on the board? What else might you look at?
Well, I think it's early enough in the game. It's only the second end. I would be very tempted to draw for my 2 and take your 2 here. You know, Team Robillard had a good first end, obviously, as we saw. And they didn't have a great start to this end, but somehow they've managed to create an opportunity for themselves to get 2 and maybe 3. But he's playing a higher degree of difficulty shot for a potential 3. The thing here, though, I would think is you don't want to just get 1. You know, you have your free opportunity. I'm going to say free opportunity for 2. I would be pretty tempted to take it. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I like the draw for 2. It looks like the easiest shot, but I think as long as you're in the tolerance here and you're making a hit and roll on this one for at least 2, I think it's an okay call. But looks like this one is close.
Got to curl a little more. He's playing the hit and roll for 2. Sure.
It's
like
one
got it.
for sure. And we'll just, I think it was 2, Melissa, but we'll just wait till we see the actual teams put the score on the scoreboard to call it official. An official 2. Oh.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Waiting on the edge of this moment, holding out for something golden. Found a light on a hill. I was waking up, looking for peace in a world that's divided. Gotta hold on tight when you find it. I was turning around, I was waking up. You're pulling me right in, rotate to you again. I'll live the rest of my life by your side. I wanna stay here forever, playing it all like the radio. Don't see how it could be better. All I know is don't let go. Stuck in a head rush about it, rusting it fast, we're moving slow. I don't know how, but we found it, something supernatural. All this feels like home, supernatural.
Welcome back to the third end of the Robillard Geall game here at the 2022 Prestige Curling Classic, presented to you by Curling Stadium, who's bringing you action from every sheet here throughout the weekend. So if you're enjoying this game, that's great, but feel free to jump around on any of the men's games here for draw 3 of the event this afternoon. The score in this one is 2-all. Team Geall has the hammer.
And just going back to that last end, Will, you made a good point. They played it safely. I think they were trying to play the thin hit and roll, and if they could tap that other Yellowstone of theirs, they may have had a chance for 3. But they played it very safely to get their 2, the hit and roll in for 2. But they also could have just drawn for their 2. That's another way of going about it, but maybe just a small risk or just trying a little bit of risk there, and it worked out okay.
Richard Krell throwing the second rocks here for Team Robillard this year. I had a look at the head-to-head between these two skips, Melissa, and it's a long time since they are former teammates, and it's a long time since Robillard did play Geall, and with Geall being away today, it doesn't really count, but it was a Geall victory, 7-6 back in 2014, the last time these two skips came head-to-head. But with Sean being away and that being so long ago, I don't think it's very relevant.
But you had the stat.
Thanks to Curling Zone.
Nice. Here's a great shot. Right, a great hit and roll by Darren Giroux.
All of this Geall team resides in the Okanagan, whereas for Team Robillard, they're made up of 4 players from different zones or even different provinces. So different approaches to it, but both very competitive.
Richard was hoping for the hit and roll there. That was an opportunity for him to get his team out of this little bit of trouble that they're in right now without Hammer here in 3. The second rock wheel that we've seen down this path that just seems to be hanging out there a little bit. It's a nice roll though.
Yeah, I think the weight, the nice weight control there really helped that one. You saw it sort of start to move once it hit the break point there very nicely.
I think Daniel Wenzik will be looking for a big hit and roll here towards the center line. I'd love to try and group these rocks a little more. Oh boy, that one's running very straight. Maybe too much weight.
It did look a pound or two heavier than what we just saw out of Giroux there. So the debate here, Melissa, between kind of going around the guard or maybe going to the open side, what's the reasonings, what's the advantages of both those sort of options?
Well, I think if you go to the open side, you want to make sure that your tee line are better to split the stones apart. You want to keep your stones far apart. That rock that's behind the guard is only top 8, I believe, and if you happen to come around again and you're top 12, top 8, there is an out for Team Robillard. They can get in behind and get it buried top 4, and then what do? You're going to have to start, you're probably going to have to run the yellow one back. So I don't know, if you're going for an easy deuce, there's definitely the option of splitting the rings. Again, it all comes down to what your preference is as a team, as how well you know the ice, how well you're feeling about the draw weight, and Mitchell Kopitko making no mistake there. That's a fantastic shot.
What a beauty, yeah. These types of shots are the ones at this level that we've really seen teams seem to figure out in the last number of years and make a little more often than they used to at the high performance levels. The run back.
Yeah, these are the shots that you definitely have to have in your back pocket a lot. Looks like Daniel's very close to making this. Oh, just so close to making that perfect.
Sitting one with Hammer, Mitchell Kopitko here throwing the draw.
Another nice shot there by Mitchell, just maybe a foot or two heavy, but a really great shot. Important thing is that the blue is sitting 2. I've gone a little tiny bit deep, so Sebastian has an opportunity here now to kind of figure out if you can actually come at it, Will, I think, from either side.
Yeah, and based on that curl we saw earlier in the game, if Sebastian can throw a back line weight here, or maybe even a hack weight, I believe he should be able to get the inside roll. Hey, do you think, Melissa?
I think so. With this turn, I believe so. And he'll be sitting, top 4, which is also a perfect position. So it was a great shot by Mitchell. Just like we say, maybe just about 6 inches too deep, and just pokes out the other side. So big shot here for Sebastian Robillard.
Some teams might be tempted to hit that open rock over there, but I think you really keep the 3-ender alive if you go and hit that open rock and give your opposition a chance to play this. But unfortunately, not quite getting maybe the weight was a little up there. It looks like might have been board weight.
Oh yeah, that was way too much weight for that shot. I'm not sure what they elected to throw, but I agree with you, Will. That was probably at least board. They probably only wanted back line there. So this is a great opportunity now for Brad Wood and Team Geall to sit 3. Can even actually cross that yellow stone and roll in behind the guard a bit and avoid those 2 back blue ones.
These teams are all playing their first game of the event right now, so all they would have had was their pre-game practice to sort of figure out the ice conditions. So expect these first 4 ends to see the teams using them to kind of map out the sheets and go to school a little bit, and hopefully we see them hone in on draw weight here going forward.
And more you're seeing these same kind of ice conditions everywhere you go, Will. The nice keen ice, 14.5 is always great, 14.5, 15. And also that nice bit of curl, at least 4 feet. And you just saw what happened with Brad Wood there. It over curled and got a little unlucky. I think yellow is shot stone at the back. Huge break for Team Robillard here.
This reminds me of the first end, but reversal of roles, Melissa.
I agree. So huge chance here now for Sebastian to get this buried behind that yellow guard and force Team Geall to have to take a single. They were looking like sitting 3 about a rock ago. The potential of sitting 3 a rock ago.
I'll try to get the rock hawk on this one again so we can see what the speed of the ice is. And just as this is coming down, a big thanks to Curling Stadium for setting this up at the Vernon Curling Club this week, so we're all able to enjoy the coverage. 1478 was the hog-to-hog on that one, Melissa.
Nice. And you see that gets by the guard, Will, by about 2.5 feet, and almost, in fact, is almost like 7/8 fully buried. Like, what a terrific shot. And as you say, 14.75, that was perfect draw weight. So no option here, I think, for Brad Wood. He's going to try and draw to the side of the button. So they're just going to take a little extra broom than Team Robillard did and try and get a single here, drawing against 2. Not a lot of stuff going on here with the front end.
So it looks like it was just a steal of one there for Team Robillard after a nice draw, and we will be back from Vernon in just a moment for the fourth end. Welcome back, curling fans. You are watching the Prestige Curling Classic coming to you from Vernon, BC. It's the Robillard versus Geall game. Team Geall is leading. Actually, it should be Team Robillard leading 3-2, I believe, if we just get those scores fixed in a moment after a steal of one.
There
Magical.
you go.
Thank you very much.
So you watch this shot of Team Geall's coming down. It almost gets a perfect, or does get a perfect hit and roll, and that just goes back. As the season progresses, you want to be very, very precise on your shot. So Nathan Small, for example, throws the guard up on draw on the first one to top four. They throw up a corner, and his guard on that one on top four over curls by 4 or 5 inches, giving Team Geall that great opportunity to throw the hit and roll, and they made no mistake.
Great point, Melissa. If he's showing 3 or 4 inches on the other side of that rock, there's no hit and roll because there's no corner guard on that side. So
exactly.
really great point on the importance of rock placement, regardless of the position and when they're being thrown in the game. Apologies for the technical glitch there. I'm just working on a couple things on my computer there. Got that turned off. Apologies for that.
A nice draw there by Richard Krell.
Interesting call there, Melissa, to ignore the play over to the wings and use the center guard early in this end.
I was waiting for you to ask that question or talk about that, Will, because it is. You have to make that absolutely perfect. Otherwise, you give a great opportunity here for your opposition. So I'm not sure, this being the fourth end, Robillard without hammer seems to be not afraid to try and force Team Geall to a single, but they, even though they're making their shots, they're not making them absolutely 100% perfect. And this has given Team Geall an opening here so far early in this end.
It looks on this one like Sebastian is really committed to bringing play back towards the middle and playing a freeze here and leaving some opposition rocks in play when they have hammer. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out.
And I think what this does is, again, I know it's Robillard's second tournament of the season, but when you start an end like this, you really have no option to make any mistakes. And there's a mistake there by Richard, a little bit heavy, doesn't curl enough, and now pokes that one, deep behind that guard. So it really creates a great opportunity here for Team Geall. So I'm not sure Sebastian had to play this aggressive this end, especially without hammer.
And the lead, exactly. Yeah, it was an interesting approach. Not saying it was wrong. It was just more aggressive than maybe the scoreboard was demonstrating you needed to be.
Looks like a potential hit and roll here for Team Geall. What a fantastic shot by Darren Giroux. Darren's having a great game thus far. So you could probably see about maybe 2 inches of that rock from the hack. And I think Sebastian, I don't know what kind of weight he's throwing here. It looks like he's throwing it hard.
So looking to maybe remove one of these rocks in the forefoot and roll over to make the double there. But as you were alluding to, when you're a little more aggressive, the degree of difficulty on the shots each end keeps getting a little bit higher and higher. And this is continuing for the Robillard team this end. So needing Daniel to make a bit of a bailout here.
Definitely the other option was to run the yellow guard in, Will. And if you run it from the outside in, there was a chance that you could get either the 2 on the forefoot or even run it on the angle to the one behind the guard. So that was an option as well, but most importantly, they have opened things up here for the time being.
So the call is to play a tight guard or in the rings? What do you think, Melissa?
I think it was a tight guard. Team Geall's in a pretty comfortable position at the moment. So if they put a guard up here, I think it just forces Team Robillard now to have to clear it. So let them waste a couple of shots on some peels. Bring this one too far in, it will set a potential triple up, but you just see that last foot of that rock path, Will, it just curls so much there at the end.
So it looks like that one didn't quite squeak in the rings and slightly over curled. So still is Daniel's got the same shot he just threw, which is always nice as Melissa as a player.
Very much, and he's actually got a little bit more of the stone this time as well. So if he can hit what he can see, he should be able to make a double. He's close. Nice shot. You make a great shot like that, Will, but you're still not out of, you're still not out of trouble here. But I think Sebastian, in an even end, I guess he would be okay with giving up a deuce here. He just doesn't want to give up 3. You can see that blue stone completely buried now on the 4-foot. So Team Geall electing to go around the corner guard and trying to keep these stones apart.
So it looks like Sebastian's electing to freeze, Melissa.
I think so, based on where they put the broom, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure he can get shot stone. But if he corner freezes, at least it may close up the scoring area a little more.
Exactly, yeah, and you know, there isn't really an easy hit on the other side, and I guess even if you make that hit, Team Geall may play this freeze that Team Robillard is electing to play. So looks like a good call here.
You want this right on the corner. You don't want it to bounce off. Well, I think plan B here, Will, going in behind.
I think it hung on for second shot, so sort of not quite mission accomplished, but is out counting the rock in the back 12-foot there, which leaving Team Geall sitting 1 at the moment.
So you can see the couple of options that Team Geall is looking at. They can come around the corner guard again, try and get about T-line and sit 2 that way. They'd want to be fully buried so that they don't leave a hit and roll or anything for Team Robillard. The other options is to throw the corner freeze that Robillard was just attempting. The problem is if you do that and you leave it too open, there's a double opportunity for Robillard. So I think they're trying to come around the corner guard again and try and sit 2 that way.
I think you're right, Melissa, and the consideration maybe to by playing this shot, having just seen Sebastian play the freeze on his on the last rock, likely going to see Sebastian try to play that again. So even though you may see Sebastian ignore this rock, even if it is sitting second shot in a moment.
This one looks like it's going to come up light. I think that was just a different path, Will. It looks like Brad took about an extra 1.5 feet of ice, and I think it just the weight would have been good if it was on the same path as the previous one, but I think it was just a different path. Got a little stuck in an area where it hasn't been used much, and that's why it came up light there. So opportunity here now for Sebastian to try and get this one to the corner of that blue stone.
And for those of you just learning the game, what Melissa means on a new path is not as many rocks have been thrown down that path as maybe a path that's had 3 or 4. And so once a rock's had a few once a path has been thrown down a few times and swept on, it gets a lot faster. So just getting a little caught there in a new path, as Melissa was explaining.
Nice shot.
So he's made that scoring zone as small as possible for Team Geall here. It looks like they're trying to navigate a way into that button area, Melissa, with the swing on this ice. I don't know.
Could they just, throw the same turn? Again, they're going to go out to a different path here. But they just need to bite the forefoot, looks like. Maybe half a stone in to get the second rock. Draw for 2 here for Brad Wood. Not an easy port to navigate, but there is some room. Look at that thing curl, hey Will.
Yeah, just running out a forefoot. It looks like it was just one, Melissa. So it'll just be a score of 1, and as we go into the fifth end break with Team Robillard having the last stone advantage going into the fifth end break, fifth end, we'll be back in a moment, curling fans.
To this moment, holding out for something golden. Found a light on a hill. I was waking up, looking for peace in a world that's divided. Gotta hold on tight when you find it. I was turning around, I was waking up. You're pulling me right in, rotate to you again. I'll live the rest of my life by your side.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back, everyone, to the fifth end of the Sebastian Robillard versus Sean Geall game here. It's Team Robillard with the hammer in the fifth end in a 3-all tie. And apologies to the fans out there and to Sebastian. I had a little bit of a mispronunciation on his last name there, so I hope I'm saying it correctly now. He's a good friend of mine, so I probably should have known that by now, and thanks for the correction. So nice to see the team settling in here, and those corner guards getting placed where they need to be here at the midpoint of the game. In the early ends, we were seeing those slip into the rings a little bit. So nice to see teams getting used to the ice conditions here as they are just playing their first draw.
Will, I will say that kudos has come to you from Alana and saying that you've got it right, Robillard. Okay, I got to remember that as well. I can't believe after all this time I keep forgetting to say it that way. We got it now. We got it. The way the ice curls here, Will, it looks like maybe Richard could even get the inside roll behind that corner guard.
Mm-hmm. Really important.
Weight call.
Yeah, it's important to stick around on this one.
Kind of an in-between. Nathan was trying to get it to curl there at the end and just didn't go enough, so not quite perfect. So right now it's for Team Geall. Just trying to, I would think, hit and roll away from that corner guard and get the play away from there.
Darren Giroux here being asked to hit this rock.
This one might roll under and just out of the ring. So little mistake there by Darren. You want to make sure you're in the ring somewhere so you don't give a freebie here to Sebastian Robillard's team. Opportunity here now for Richard to get one fully buried behind that corner.
Based on the ice, it's a nice amount of curl. Really, on these types of shots, when you look at the broom like that, Melissa, there probably isn't a whole lot of need to come too close to that corner guard when you're going by. It's really one of those shots you're hopefully leaving to your sweepers to manage.
That's such a great point, Will, and we did see that in a previous end. You can get by the guard by 1.5 to 2 feet, and it's still fully buried. So, but this one does look like it might be a little heavy. Hoping that it's going to stop behind that guard. Not much of anything done there by the sweepers.
So the option, Melissa, here, you could play a hit or you could play a freeze, I guess, or a draw, hey?
I think so, and I think... I mean, I don't mind them playing the hit on this for sure, but the thing is, again, if you hit and roll out, you do give another free opportunity to Sebastian and his team to get another one in behind there even better. But they feel that you can see half a rock on the outside here, and they feel like with the way it curls, it should be able to come right to the nose. Again, the thing, if you do that, though, Will, what do is you leave a kind of a rock that's really to the advantage of Sebastian Robillard's team, because now you can actually draw right to it, freeze right to it. So I'm not sure that was the best call, but it definitely was what they wanted, and that was accomplished.
Good point. Yeah, I guess what you're saying is in that situation, maybe rolling out is almost maybe better than staying in that spot they are now,
Agreed.
based on where Sebastian's able to attack here, and not having a center guard up this end has definitely come back to be challenging for Team Geall here as we get to the last half of the fifth end, eh?
I agree. So, I mean, this is really important for Dan. You know, line obviously crucial here, but just trying to stay behind, or sorry, stay above that T line. You can freeze right onto that blue stone, or back of blue stone, but it also would allow your opposition then to follow you down. And this one looks like it's got a little extra weight as well. It's a perfect freeze, but it is behind the T line.
Third's last rock here in the fifth end, with Coquitlam looking to make the freeze, and
it looks like it's just a little light there for Mitchell. So two options here, Will. Obviously, you can draw to the open side, but with that rock behind the T line, I do like this call. Dan is going to throw the exact same shot on this one, this time just trying to be maybe a little bit higher and try and get it fully buried and sit two behind that guard. And then, of course, the blue stone just thrown by Mitchell Coquitlam as well. So opportunity here now for Dan Wenzik, but I don't see the brushers putting too much effort into the stone right now. It looks like a little heavy. I think that's the one thing you can't do here, Will, is be heavy on this shot.
oh, exactly. I think you're right, Melissa. That one was maybe third shot, but in the top 12 foot, it'd be doing you a lot more favors than third shot in the back 12 foot for sure.
Exactly. That's a big mistake there by Dan.
Now, in this case for Team Geall, Melissa, and sorry, I was saying Team Geall for Brad here, throwing the skip rocks. Is the tolerance for him to be maybe a little bit light, or would it be to actually make sure you're there and maybe right to it?
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing to be right to it. If you're right to it, you almost eliminate both of those yellow stones, because I think right now Team Robillard is actually sitting two. If you're a little bit on the higher side, that's okay too. You just don't want to bump and roll or be on the wide side. You got to put this in a place where it's almost impossible to get rid of. And this looks like it's light as well. So not a great shot there by Brad. We've seen a number of, I was just going to mention right before Brad threw that stone, Will, something that we alluded to in the last end, is that Brad looked like he took about 3 or 4 more inches of ice. And again, we talk about the pass, and we're not there, so we're not sure, what's happening with the ice. But in the same position that Dan threw his second one, right, it ran really nice along that path. You take 3 or 4 inches more, and maybe it's just a little bit heavier based on what we've seen here, or it's simply that Brad just threw it a little lighter. So it's hard to know from our perspective.
Exactly.
That's the importance of the front end, to always watch the paths of every stone and to know, what it is doing on every single path out there. So it looks like Sebastian is taking about the same ice as Brad would on his previous stone. So probably in his mind he's thinking he has to throw a little extra, which it looks like he's done here. Really wants this one to stop high.
And another sort of slightly on the heavy side there, Melissa, and allowing it out for Team Geall, it looks like here.
I would agree. That rock stops a foot lighter, and then I'm not sure what Brad Wood can do to get out of this mess. So if he can ever corner freeze right on there, I don't think Sebastian will have any other option but to draw for a single. But this is a huge shot. Obviously that's fully buried. But we've seen about, I don't know, 6 or 7 rocks down this path now. But again, if you look at the broom placement, Will, it's probably another inch of ice than what was taken on the last 2 shots.
And a little bit of that might be the way, just the way the Brad throws the rock versus the way a Daniel or Sebastian throws the rock. But yeah, there definitely is a considerable amount more ice for Skip Brad Wood here than the previous thrower.
It looks like Brad's rocks do tend to curl a little bit more, maybe just not as much positive rotation, but this one looks very, very close. This looks like a great shot if they can keep it on the angle. Ooh, it over curled. Wow, weight was perfect. So what are we thinking, Will, that yellow is line 1?
It looks like yellow, I'd say, is 1. Line 1 is what I'd say, yes, Melissa. I think drawing for 2 here.
I'm curious about the broom placement on this particular shot. I would think if we're just drawing for 2, would we not take a little extra ice and just hit the 4-foot?
Agreed, yeah, maybe there's
something we're missing there, maybe, for more than 2. Or he's just comfortable with his path. Nice shot.
Nice draw from Sebastian Robillard, and it looks like that will be 2 in the 5th end for Team Robillard. So playing the 6th, Team Geall will be looking to get a deuce back, and we will be back in just a moment after the break from the Prestige Curling Classic presented to you by Curling Stadium. Welcome back to the sixth end curling fans of Team Geall versus Robillard at the 2022 Prestige Curling Classic presented by Curling Stadium. It's 5-3 for Team Robillard, and Team Geall has the hammer. Sean's away, so you've got Brad Wood throwing last rocks and calling the game. Sorry, just throwing last rocks. The lead man is calling the game.
We don't know who it is yet, do we?
We do not have a name yet for the spare. They do have 3 players in the lineup with a spare right now. Melissa and I, Melissa's coming to you from Victoria, and I'm coming to you from Burnaby. So we're not on site there to gather those names. But we will work on that for a little later on in the show. Here is the lead rocks for Team Geall.
So it looks like a second corner going up. Team Geall would love to try and get something going here and get a couple points back this end.
Melissa, from a rock placement standpoint, looking where Team Geall's put their first 2 rocks of the end, trying to score 2. They've got 2 corner guards up. It looks ideal. A rock placement for Team Robillard, is it ideal with the rocks in that situation, or what are you generally looking for in that circumstance?
No, I think Nathan's second stone, the one that's kind of half over towards the guard, over curled. He was trying to get it, one on the forefoot of the center line and one a little bit higher, and unfortunately he didn't lay them out exactly as he was. So that's why they're playing the bump back on this particular stone. Didn't quite have enough weight, but they want to keep their rocks towards the center for sure. But right now, in when you look at it, Will, there's not a lot of good options. There is still the come around the corner guard on the right hand side if that's what Brad wishes to do. Team Geall wishes to do. But it's kind of busy there right now already.
Yeah, it looks like they're electing to play the double and hopefully bring those corner guards back into play here.
And I think what's more important is I wouldn't necessarily worry about the double. What I would worry about is more the hit and roll. Is you really want to keep your shooter in play there. I think the double's a great shot, but it doesn't accomplish what you want to with last stone. You want to get a rock in behind your corner guard. That's why you threw it there. And that's going to give now, obviously, Sebastian the opportunity to get rid of it.
And this call here to peel the guard, I do like it, Melissa, after the opposition. They've just, as you said, they rolled out and made an error there. So if you can make the peel here with a 2-point lead, very scoreboard appropriate, I think.
I agree.
That word, though, is always there. So a couple options, Melissa. It looks like there's the hit and roll or the draw around the corner guard. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the two?
I think the hit and roll is more of a precision shot in terms of if you want to use degree of difficulty, it's a little bit higher degree of difficulty. You have a great opportunity here. You put up a corner guard. You've got a great opportunity now to place one in behind there in a perfect position. It doesn't even have to be T-line. You want it just about top 8. You want to force Team Robillard to try and have to make a play on something on the right-hand side. Right now, they can't use the left-hand guard at the moment, the way that Yellowstone is sitting. So I think this is the better of the choices, and Darren Giroux, I believe, threw that. Almost over curl, though, or did over curl. Wow.
Really observing those rocks at the end are really finishing a lot, and so handle on this ice is going to be important throughout the week. I think a consistent rotation is going to be really important out there. That it's fairly strong.
And if you throw appropriate weight on this, and by that I mean, you know, board to control, Dan should be able to get right to the face of that stone. And I don't know if that's really what you want to do, Will. You might want to hit and roll away to the outside a little bit more. If you get too close to the guard or you nose it right there, that does give Team Geall an opportunity to freeze to it. So this does look like it's going to be a nose, but it is in the top 8, so it's in a pretty good position. But I think by the look of Sebastian Robillard there, he would have maybe liked to have rolled away a little. So now you have to think about, if you're Team Geall, if you throw a rock in behind this corner guard, which is what they're electing to do, you almost have to be even with that yellow stone on the right hand side, because then if not, if you go deep, it does give Team Robillard the option for the short run.
Good point, Melissa, and it's early enough in this end. I believe we're on Team Geall's thirds first, so it's early enough in this end that even a corner freeze to that yellow in the top 12 would probably be a pretty reasonable position to be in.
I agree, yes.
Making it a little harder to remove this blue rock that Mitchell unfortunately just came a little bit light with. The tendency has been today in these last couple ends I've seen when throwing those draws to the wings for Team Geall to be coming up a little bit light. I'm not sure if it's just that additional amount of curl when going to the wings, but the tendency has been for Team Geall these last couple ends to be coming up a little bit light on those draws to the wings.
Yeah, it'd be interesting maybe on a draw to the wing on the next one, Will, if you can get another time on that. So it looks like they're going to play the tap back on the yellow stone on the left-hand side. Try and tap that straight back into the forefoot. The other option, I guess, would be to peel one of the corner guards. But as you say, we're on second stone here for Team Robillard. So now it's time to put a little of the offense on and try and keep the pressure on Team Geall.
And thanks to Sean Geall here, I've just got the name of his spare, who's calling the game and throwing lead rocks very well today. It's Dave Bellway from Salmon Arms, so competitive curler, Dave Bellway. So that is the gentleman you're looking at right now, calling the shots.
Well, good. Thank you to Sean for that. Geall really looking for a roll here. Love to get in behind those. Oh, no, playing the double, pardon me. And a nice roll. What a great shot there by Mitchell Coquitlam.
And the options here, Melissa, looks like are the corner freeze or the slash. Are you seeing any other options there, or what are your thoughts?
No, I'm not seeing any other option. It looks like the corner freeze might be a little bit easier because they've seen that a couple of times, but Richard Krell's coming down to have a conversation about that slash. I think that was Daniel's first instinct. You got to remember the goal here for, I would guess the goal here for Sebastian Robillard is to, would love to force them to 1, but if you know, if you can ever hold them to 1 or even 2 is probably your max. But I don't know. I think the corner freeze looks a little easier than this shot will, but that's me.
Yeah, the corner. This is one of those ones where it's either a make or a miss. Whereas the corner freeze could also close that scoring area down a little bit, and still at least force a tougher draw for Team Geall. So this isn't the not the wrong call, just the one that might have a little bit higher degree of difficulty, or not higher degree of difficulty, but if you don't, there's not really a half shot on this one as opposed to the freeze, which has a couple options to it.
And this would be here on his second shot if he needed it as well. But Sebastian makes no mistake. A fantastic shot.
Very nice. So the good news for Team Geall is that if Brad is able to make this corner freeze, they won't. Team Robillard shouldn't have a slash, and there are not. And those 2 guards can't really be used to run anything back. So the angles here are pretty good for Team Geall if they can make this corner freeze, Melissa.
Yeah, I would agree. This is big shot. I mean, Brad would love to get a skip deuce here if he can. Line looks really good. It all comes down to weight here. Brusher's not giving this too much at the moment.
This angle really gave you a nice flight path there of the ice and the amount of swing we're seeing here in Vernon. It looks like fabulous ice. So chance now being a little heavy there, Melissa. Looks like Sebastian can see enough of that one to remove it.
Yeah, I think he's just throwing about hack weight. If he hits what he can see and just rolls away, that's great too. If he rolls out, that's okay too. Most important thing is to remove the bluestone from play here and force Brad to make one for his single point here in 6. This looks close. Nice shot.
Brad Wood, it looks like, will try to follow Sebastian down and do the same. Pitko and Giroux sweeping. Looks like Darren just indicated the weight was a little bit up. Nice shot there, and going into the 7th end now, it's going to be 5-4 for Team Robillard, who will have hammer at the 2022 Prestige Curling Classic presented by Curling Stadium. We'll be back in a moment.
just got our shipment of logos here in for our next event, which is going to be the mixed double. As you can see, there's a few of them. There's roughly 20 logos per sheet to be put in for the mixed doubles, along with a couple of extra little dots. But all our logos come from Jet Ice. They are the best logos to put in. We use them around the world, and they're very easy to install. As you can tell, this is the center ice logo that's going to be going in for the world. This is about a 4-footer by 10. It's going to look like $1 million. Their colors on their logos are always nice and vibrant. And like I said before, very easy to put in.
Welcome back, curling fans. You are watching the 7th end of the Prestige Curling Classic, Team Robillard versus Team Geall. It is Team Robillard up 5-4 with last stone advantage here. You're listening to Melissa Saligo, and I'm Will Sutton. So, trailing Melissa without hammer here with 2 ends to go. What can we expect to see from Team Geall in this end?
Well, I think Team Geall would want to throw up 2 center guards here. Not bring the play, the rocks too close together. But for Sebastian, it looks like he's asked Nathan to come around on the first one. He took the guard. So another opportunity for him to come around here on the second one. But I think for Team Geall, you almost have to force the issue. You would love to steal here, but most importantly, you want to force Team Robillard to a single point. So you got to take your chances here in 7.
And I think if you're Team Geall right now, you're probably happy to see a Team Robillard guard up after lead rocks here, up with the hammer. It looks like that there might have been a bit of an error there.
Yeah, I think Sebastian, he would be very, very happy to obviously blank this end, but that would take a few doubles down the road here to get that done. So we'll see what happens here for Darren Giroux. I think he called this one in the rings, Will?
He did. It's the requesting him to make the freeze here.
Okay.
Once this rock is thrown, it's the 5 rock free guard zone here in Vernon. So there will be an option for Team Robillard to start removing rocks in the free guard zone if they wish.
Wow, that one really overcurled. Looks like it was a bit light. Wow. So now Sebastian's having a look to see which way he can try and get rid of some of these stones. It looks like if we get another look at that, if he can hit that one on the center line there, Will, and catch the yellow stone, the yellow might go back on that blue stone at just above the top 12 there on the right. Mm-hmm. I think. It's hard to tell from our perspective, but key here is to make some rocks go away. Try and clean things up here. Oh, this one's over curling.
So interesting decision for Team Geall here, because they want to bring play to the middle, but there's no center guard up and a Robillard rock sitting on the top of the 4-foot. So what do you do here?
That's a really good question. I'm almost wondering if you have to throw another. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you throw another center guard here? It's really hard, as you say, to get into the 4-foot area with those rocks the way they are on the 4-foot lines. You could throw a wide come around, but
yeah, a high center guard is hard to peel. But yeah, I think you're right. You're in a bit of a peculiar spot here where you don't really want to be going around corner guards without last rock when you're trying to steal, but there's nothing really reasonable to attack with in the middle. tough situation here for Team Geall, who doesn't have Hammer, playing the 7th end, trailing by 1 in their first game of this Prestige Curling Classic.
I think if this was later in the end, maybe the opportunity to hit that yellow stone and actually roll behind your 2 blue guards would be an option, because then it would be super hard for Robillard to actually get in there easily. But it seems a little early to do that.
And I think you're a good point, Melissa, and I think it really comes down to your goal in this end, and a good hit and roll here can maybe force the opposition to a point, which would make you down 2 playing the 8th end in a pretty good situation. So it's maybe evaluating here and going, it's not essential to steal, but making a good hit and roll here can get a good force to 1 going. As you alluded to earlier in the end about that maybe being their goal here. So Team Geall being asked to make the hit and roll.
I think he elected to do this almost because there really isn't another good, a good option.
No, exactly.
So unfortunately for Team Geall, did not get the roll.
In theory, you want to make the hit and roll here, I think, Melissa, as it's been called. But I think you also want to be fairly cognizant of where you roll to and maybe not having them use your shooter here as a guard in a moment.
Exactly, yeah, because this is going to be... Not sure what's happening with that rock. Sorry, just got... Wow. Not really sure what happened there. He was just maybe tight out of his hand. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like he was a little soft on release, maybe, Will, and it just completely over-curled.
And this is now Third's first rocks, I believe, Melissa. So we're seeing the center guard called here on Third's first.
Yeah, the call a little bit more straightforward on this one for sure. I think we see the corner or the center guard going up here, and Sebastian will step up and do some cleanup there on the front of the rings.
Mitchell here in his first season on the men's competitive circuit. He's coming out of juniors where he was playing back end and playing his first season here with Team Geall in the men's side of things. Pretty well placed rock there, difficult to peel and difficult to run back, so very well placed.
You saw Sebastian just have a quick moment of thought to maybe go for the one in the rings, but I think this is probably the better of the calls. You got to try and clean things up, and if you could ever catch that yellow stone somehow and move it over more to open up that slide path on the right hand or on the left hand side, that would be okay too.
So a decision now for will be the same call. So looking to put this one right on the center line, Melissa.
Yeah, exactly the same call, same spot, and maybe a little bit more on the center line. But for Team Geall, straightforward here. They've got one in the rings. Ideally, they would love to force or steal a point here in 7. And in pretty good shape at the moment here with a few rocks left to come. This one might over-curl a bit here, Will. Oh boy. That is not a great shot.
No. Really, it was really key there to basically have your rock be on the center line. So not only just so you're protecting this rock, but also so that you can use that center guard later on in the end for one of Brad's shots.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a really unfortunate shot there for Mitchell. But opportunity now open here for Dan Wenzik. Nice shot.
So Melissa, based on the scoreboard now, do you ignore that yellow rock behind the corner guards and try to close the scoring area down some other way, or what are the approaches here?
Yeah, I really don't think there's much you can do on the right-hand side of the sheet at the moment, Will. I think you actually have to come around those staggered corner guards right where Brad's got his broom and try and get one in biting the top 4 there. Try and get shot rock out of it and leave it high enough, though, that if Team Robillard comes in, they can't actually get shot stone by corner freezing it. So I think you want to be high enough on your placement that you want to be shot, but you don't need to be full 4 or anything like that. And then you could see the options there. If it comes up lighter, that's okay too. I don't think you want to be out front, though. I think you want something in the rings here. Right there, right where Brad's broom, right where he just put his broom, I think is absolutely perfect.
It's almost like they can hear you, Melissa.
Yeah, I don't know what throwing a center guard does for you at this point. I see them pointing to that as a second option, but I'm not sure what that would do for you.
Unless it's the center guard that you could actually use for the next shot, I could see Team Robillard, ignoring the center guard and throwing the intern draw.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And really taking everything away. So I do think unless the center guard is very tight in a place that you can use it for your next shot, you probably need to go around the blue and yellow rock there as you indicated and try to keep it, like you said, above the tee line, just biting that 4 foot.
Yeah, I really do believe that's the shot. That looks like what they've elected to do, Will. They're taking a little extra ice here, make sure they get by those staggered guards at the top, and then up to the sweepers to put this in the perfect place.
Look at all that late curl, Melissa. That rock got by that blue guard by about 3 feet. And
wow.
Even though it's not second shot, even though it's not shot rock, Melissa, I think it's in a place that does mean Sebastian will have to be really careful about his rock placement and not a ton of tolerance on this draw shot for Sebastian. In terms of weight tolerance on it.
And yeah, exactly, Will. And what he's doing as well is they've forced him to go into a path we haven't even seen yet, right? He's a couple inches there from the sideboards, throwing it a wide intern come around that we haven't even seen being thrown yet. So this is just a guess for Sebastian, I'm sure, and his teammates.
With Team Robillard being shot rock right now, would they ever consider a peel of any sort at this point in the game, or is it too late in the end, do you think?
I think it's too late in the end. This is an opportunity now for Robillard to get at least 2 on the board here if they can put this in a good position.
Awesome.
So line looks really good. It's all about the weight now. He does not want to be deep here if he can help it. Does not want to give Team Geall an out, but I think it is going to be a little deep.
Oh, wow, is it ever?
Wow. Great line. Just about a foot and a half too deep. So that's about the worst place you could put it, Will, because this does give the opportunity to Brad now and his team to put one right on the face, and then I'm not sure. It doesn't even have to be on the face, actually. As long as it's around the tee line, I'm not sure how Sebastian will score.
Mm-hmm. And you're right, as bad as that is, it was there wasn't a whole lot of room for him on that shot. If he throws a tight guard, the opposition is going to use it to go around it, and he ended up just being 2 feet heavy there, and now the opposition gets to use it to freeze. So it was a precise shot there for Sebastian, and now we'll see if Team Geall can be precise here and potentially set up a steal.
So hopefully they went to school on Sebastian's shot and tried to figure out what the weight is. The sweepers have not touched this one. And now Darren with some late finishing, trying to get it to curl. Nope.
And like you said there, Melissa, just the weight there, line probably okay if you throw that as a sweeper's weight, as we've been talking about all game. But just a little bit, a pound or two heavy there, and doesn't give a chance for the whole team to be a part of that one.
So huge opportunity here now for Sebastian Robillard to hit and stick for 3 points here in 7.
A reminder that all games will be streamed from the Prestige Curling Classic this weekend, and Draw 4 will start at 5 p.m. featuring women's games at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Six sheets will be in action at 5 p.m. It'll be a score of 2 for Team Robillard with the rollout there. So they'll go up 7-4 after 7 ends. And we'll be back in just a moment for the 8th and final end of play.
This moment, holding out for something golden. Found a light on a hill. I was waking up, looking for peace in a world that's divided. Gotta hold on tight when you find it. I was turning around, I was waking up. You're pulling me right in, rotate to you again. I'll live the rest of my life by your side.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back to Draw 3 of the Prestige Curling Classic. As you can see, guards were not thrown where they were desired to be here for Team Geall in the 8th end of play. So opportunity, Melissa, for Team Robillard just to play some hits here and really take control of this game in the last end of play.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, Will. You know, you're down 3 in the last end, and you definitely have to get some stuff in the free guard zone. And unfortunately for Team Geall, everything looks like it's in the rings. So you can just imagine that Team Robillard will now just be spending the rest of this end trying to remove any opposition stones.
Dave Bellway here, making no mistake on the second one though, and nicely putting up that corner guard. And the good news for Dave is with the 5-rock rule, it won't be able to peel that, Melissa.
That's right, and you can see Sebastian just stepping over to the side of the rings there. He doesn't need any more rocks in play, he doesn't need to score any more points, so he's just going to have his teammate there, Richard, throw it right through the rings. And then after the 5-rock free guard zone, he'll be able to peel that on the next one. So now for Team Geall, you have to decide, Will, that guard, there's not quite enough space, I don't think, to come around it, so do you put another corner guard up on the same side or even the opposite side? You know that Robillard's going to peel, so I like this call, trying to put one on the other side now.
Absolutely, and I guess it's just a question, Melissa, of how long do you keep throwing the corner guard in this situation if when you're down 3? Probably through the second stones, you would keep throwing the corner guard, but might have to give it some consideration on third stones, whether you started to play into the rings there. But.
I would agree, yes. So got to hope for a half shot here by Team Robillard if you can. And I like this call of Sebastian's. He's playing the higher of the 2 guards and playing in such a way you can take a risk at this, right? You can try and play it thin and maybe catch the other blue stone on the way by. Number 1 job obviously is make sure you get rid of 1.
This is Richard Krell, free agent for this team.
What a
Wonderful shot.
If you're Team Geall, you're going, what do we do now here? So like you mentioned, Will, 1 more corner guard going up. But you're running out of stones and need to figure out a way to get 3 counting in the rings here, and your chances are slipping away. Uh-oh, this one looks like it's coming in.
Daniel just being asked to make this one go away.
So if you're Team Geall, Will, you only have 4 rocks left here. You're in tough here. I see that another guard's being thrown.
Exactly, yeah, and I guess this is the last guard you can throw, and basically you're still hoping for a nose or a flash, and then maybe using this guard. I think it's a good option based on the situation, Melissa. The other one being that you could play a freeze or play around those 2 rocks that are in the rings, but with them both being in front of the tee line, it's a really challenging situation for Team Geall here as this game winds down.
Yeah, those Yellowstones in such a position that you could, like you say, could freeze to the one, the top one for sure. You could maybe corner freeze to the one on the forefoot, but neither shot, very easy, that's for sure. So perfect corner guard. Now appeal attempt here by Dan Wenzik. Looks like he makes no mistake. And now we're down to the remaining 3 stones here.
Big thanks to the Vernon Curling Club and for bringing us this event, along with the presenting group, Curling Stadium, for broadcasting all 6 sheets of every draw. I hope you're all enjoying the coverage and tuning into your favorite teams from across BC and across the USA and the world.
Looking for the freeze. What a shot.
Wonderful shot. So, Melissa, it doesn't look like you can remove that blue rock, but what are your options here for Sebastian?
Well, what happens, Will, if you throw a guard? What do you see there? They need all 3 of their blue stones to count. I think that yellow shot stone, I believe, right?
Yellow is shot, so yeah, it would be a guard there. I think works if you make it. If you miss the guard, it may give them some opportunity. But the other option might be to just play a peel just to kind of get your back one released, and then on your final shot of the game, should be an open takeout for the win. So always kind of scary to be guarding when you're up 3, but like you say, it's pretty tough to create 3 out of this right now. So the guard may make some sense. You don't want to do.
So if you peel the top one, just straight peel it. But that's one thing. But if you peel it back onto the blue, onto the yellow, isn't that making the situation better for Team Geall?
Well, I think if you kill all the yellows, it's good, because then Team Geall would have an open hit. But the challenge will be is if you don't kill all the yellows here and there's any kind of stagger, then all of a sudden you could see a situation here. So I think it's important that you just make a few rocks go away here.
Like that?
Maybe not quite like that, but it was close.
Well, I mean, the only good thing is it popped the blue one out into the open. It does give Team Geall another chance to draw around there, but they need all 3 of their stones to count. There's nothing you can do with that blue one now in terms of protecting it, I don't think. You could maybe Christmas tree it, like put it half on the wide intern or wide clockwise rotation, just come in half and kind of guard half of it.
Exactly, and force a tough shot for Team Robillard. I think the only way that shot could have been better for Sebastian, Melissa, might be if he had rolled his shooter out. If the shooter hadn't stayed there, we'd be looking at an open hit for Sebastian's last stone. So I think we'll give him 3 out of 4 on that one.
Yeah, and we go back one rock, Will. If you throw the guard, the onus is on Team Geall now to make. They have to make 2 more perfect shots, but they also have to get rid of shot stone. I'm not sure how you would do that if you threw the guard. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think Dave's got the idea there. You almost have to come halfway around on the intern side. Just half cover the blue stone, get it maybe into the white, but I think that also gives Sebastian a short run as well. But I don't know if there's any other option.
So it looks like he's coming right to his blue here, Melissa, and just trying to get to the inside of it a little?
Yeah, and I don't know if he has to touch his blue, like maybe, I think they're looking at top 8. So basically, if your top 8 half covering your bluestone on the inside, what does Sebastian do? He can't really hit either bluestone. He could pick out the one that's there right now, potentially. He could play a short run on the Yellowstone that's top 12. So this is all, we'll just see where Brad places this one to see what the shot selection would be for Sebastian on his last. Really wants that to curl more. And looks like he's going to leave it wide open there for Sebastian Robillard. That weight was perfect, Will. Just need to curl another foot.
Absolutely, yeah. The weight was nice, Melissa. Well, a few more rocks in play than we might have expected after the way this end started out, but a fairly simple shot for Team Robillard from Royal City Curling Club to get a win here in their first matchup of the event. And he'll make no mistake. So, Melissa, it'll be a 7-4 final for Sebastian Robillard's team. So they get their first win of the Prestige Curling Classic, and both teams will get a break tonight before they get in action again tomorrow morning for their second games of the event. But great to watch these two teams play, and really enjoyed them getting a sense of these ice conditions here. And what were your thoughts on the conditions overall?
I think the conditions were fantastic, as you said earlier, Will. 14.5, 14.75. You can't ask for better ice than that, and lots of curl. So you got to make sure you're positive rotation, and make sure you give your weight to your sweepers to manage it. I think this is just terrific ice conditions, what we're used to seeing here in Vernon.
Well said, and we're really looking forward to this coverage being brought to you by Curling Stadium all weekend long. So tune in to all the draws. The next one being at this evening with the women's play action. All 6 sheets will be in action beginning at 5 p.m. That's all from the Prestige.
Bye, Will.
Bye.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.